I've wanted to talk to you guys for a while. I've just never got around to it. We reviewed your last album on the website. It came pretty highly. It came in our top albums of 2023, I think. So
Cool.
it was great to see that you've got a new single out soon, imminently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about time. I mean, we're kind of known as a band who does not move quickly. So got one more record and we're dead, I think, at this point. But
It's great. So when is the new album out? Let's talk about that first.
the new record is in I guess you would say pre-production stages now, the writing period. But it's going good, and it's kind of funny when you are like we started this band, 2013 originally. We were
Oh,
we were fucking kids,
yeah.
and now we're starting to get pretty good at playing music. So it feels like the songs are getting really good now, and maybe it's not the right thing to do. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not getting good personally. I'm still a crappy singer, but like the other guys, we're all dudes in our 30s now, so they're getting quite good at
Yeah.
what they do.
It's,
So the third album is going to be kind of cool.
It sounded great, and I guess when you listen to the sort of bands I was listening to in my youth, it's wonderful to hear a band like the Trench Dogs. It's playing in that same ballpark. It's both nostalgic and yet it makes you hope for the future that other bands are going to go out there and do that as well.
Cool,
So thanks for that.
cool.
Can't wait for the new album. I just managed to. Someone just sent me a copy of you. I never had the vinyl of the first album, so someone's just shipped me that this week. It literally landed this
Oh,
week.
you got one? Where the
Yeah.
hell did you find that?
I don't know. I've got a mate who lives in Finland, and he found me a copy. So
Really? Yeah, I mean, I see the price that they're going for now on
yeah,
like
it's crazy.
Discogs for resale. Like it's a real rip-off if you buy it today. It's so expensive.
It is, but I guess that's a good thing about collecting. You you amass all these collection of records that are worth a vast amount of money that when you go, your relatives will probably just donate somewhere. Or,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, I
It's
was
also like worth a lot of money to no one. It's kind of a predicament to be in.
it is, it is. You've got fans all over now. I mean, it's clear to see. I mean, a lot of the guys who write for us like love trench dogs, so it's long overdue talking to you, and it's fantastic that we're doing it in the circumstances where you're going to play one of what I think's the UK's best festivals. So you've got Call the Wild
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah, we got booked on them. We had kind of a fun relationship with the UK because we went over there the first time. We got a wild invite to play um, HRH AOR, which was a very weird fit for us. So we kind of thought we were like set up to fail, but we thought, fuck it. We booked a show in London, played that, went pretty good because we'd never been to the UK before, but on the internet we'd gathered like a bit of a following kind of, and people were willing to come to London to see us. Then we went off to North Wales for this AOR festival, and we changed our set list up like quite a lot to try to pander to the audience. And I mean, we walked away from that. We were so surprised. Like we went down a treat, and then on that night they booked us to play HRH Sleaze, which was despite not really liking that word sleaze, sure, but
Mm.
it was a much better fit. So we went and did that the following year, or maybe the same year. I don't remember. And after that, on the night, we were booked to play Call of Wild. So it was like every time we went to the UK, we went home with more bookings. But that Call of the Wild show was going to take place in 2020, and there you go. So that
Right.
never happened.
So what took you from Melbourne, which I lived in Melbourne for many years in the early 2020s. What took you from Melbourne to where you are now?
Um, the long story short is I've always been a bit of a weirdo. I grew up as like a music trader, like a CD and vinyl trader, because didn't have any money. No one fucking did. So I would just basically go to what we call garage sales and just basically buy 10-cent CDs
Yeah.
and take them all to these different like secondhand music trading shops, and I would just trade them all in for about four albums. And um, I just started collecting this huge, crazy amount of rock and roll music, but I really narrowed down what I was into, which was bands like the Dogs d'Amour, Hanoi Rocks, the Quireboys, and obviously since I was about 13, I started dressing the way I do now, and there was just no place for that in Australia at that time, especially because I wasn't from a capital city or anything. Like I'm not from Melbourne, I'm from
Oh, okay.
way out. So like I was just walking around in like beach town, like dressed like what used to be called a fag back in the day, and got my ass kicked constantly, got my teeth kicked in, black eyes every weekend, and I just got sick of it. I got sick of it, and I saw on the internet that there was like a music scene in Sweden. So I was young enough. I was in that beautiful time where I was old enough to be 18, but
Yeah.
young enough to not realize the consequences that I just fucked off as soon as I was old enough. I just, one way ticket, $100 in my pocket. Um, couldn't point out Sweden really on a map. I ended up in Norway for 2 years working down the mines. and then, and then here we are. I just had this plan to play music in a place where you could do it. But I mean, fucking back in way out of East Melbourne, we used to play shows and we get mugged backstage, like taking our shit from the backstage to the car. They'd take all our amps and our guitars, and we get called girls and fags, and it was just, and no one was really into it. I had to make a band in Australia out of people I forced to be into what I'm into. I'm like, all right, guy, you like AC/DC, Metallica? Fuck that shit. Now you like this and do this, and so it
Well, I
was the
mean,
obvious choice to come over here because there's a music scene here. Well, there
yeah,
was.
yeah. Well, there still is. I mean, a decent scene, I guess, back in Melbourne and stuff like that now. But I guess you've still got
Yeah,
that. A lot of our hard rock still, obviously, is based on that AC/DC template. Not that there's anything wrong
yeah.
with it, but
I mean, Melbourne's always had a good music scene, but it's like it caters to, and this is kind of pre-internet times, like 2007, 8, 9, like before internet is what it is today. Like
yeah,
I was playing in bands, and I was just like, we're so disconnected from the rest of the world. I mean, today it's so much different with the internet, and like you can actually make a band, I guess, like ours in Australia, and maybe get enough to make touring Europe economically viable. But back then, it was just not a fucking option. And
yeah,
so, like being over here, like we can go play London, Berlin, like in a weekend and just come home.
yeah.
So
I mean, that's the sort
makes
of
more
thing
sense.
I was talking to Chris about from Suicide Bombers. The fact that like the internet is like a double-edged sword. On one hand, you can hear anything from anywhere in the world, but on the other hand, it's highly unlikely if you're living somewhere like Australia, you're going to get to see any of that sort of stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
happening that in, I guess, probably the last 5 or 6 years, especially, we've had bands like not exactly in your ballpark, but like bands like Heat and Crash Diet and
yeah.
stuff like that coming over. We even had for a couple of years a thing called Glamfest that
Yes.
wasn't
Oh,
really wasn't really a glam fest as such, but it made an effort, which is great.
yeah. Oh, believe you me, I tried with everything I've got to get on that because when I left Australia and came over here, I thought, oh, how nice it'll be to play a homecoming show, and then now I'm in my mid 30s and I realize how it's just not possible. I don't think I'll ever be able to play like a Melbourne cherry bar show, so it's a bit heartbreaking. But I've been there. I know Lindsay Bullock. I'm sure you know him,
I know Lindsay, yeah, yeah.
and I
He,
know a lot of the folks from Silverback and stuff. And
yeah.
last time I was in Australia, I was having a drink with them, and I was like, please, please put us on your festival, please. I just want to do the full circle thing where I went away for 15, 16 years and I came back and I did Melbourne, please. But
Well,
which was to no avail.
let's keep in touch. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, it is prohibitively expensive, obviously, to get over to Australia, but
Yeah.
it's just a matter, I guess, of who else is on the bill and how it's going to work logistically. But let's.
Yeah. Who else is on the bill? It's half my friends.
Yeah,
It's a lot of Scandinavian bands that I know quite well and personally.
Yeah.
And oh my God, my friend, one of my neighbors here actually is from the band Enforcer, a
Oh
Swedish heavy
wow.
metal band.
Yeah,
They
he
were recently
covered.
in Australia.
Yeah.
I was just furiously jealous,
They went
furiously
to,
jealous.
they went down a treat as well. They were great. So I think
They are the coolest guys ever. Yeah,
people love the Trench Dogs. I mean the bands that you named initially when you came on, three of my favorite bands. And it's crazy talking to guys like you, the Continental Lovers, um, Chris, and yourself, because you sort of, even though you don't sound alike, a lot of those influences, I guess, are quite similar shot through the three bands. So for me, it's like the tour that you're putting on in the UK is one that works really, really well for me musically. Um, I think
I think
probably.
it's good bang for your buck.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. So let's hope that goes well. We're going to try and give it a bit of a push. Ironically, for a website that's been going 15 years and based in Perth, we've got far more readers in your part of the world in the UK than we have back home in Australia. So just one of those things. And many, many more in the US. So let's hope a few people pick up on the tour over there as well. I've just been
Yeah.
very jealously watching my mates post videos of Mike Monroe and Donny
Oh,
V double bill that's like played the States, the whiskey, I think the other day and stuff like that.
yeah.
I mean, the great music's still out there, and there's great new young bands. It's just that the fact that we lack a cohesive scene that makes it
Yeah.
like this so hard to go and see. So if you're in the UK, all I can say is get on the tour and hopefully you'll be playing the new single Cobblestone Waltz.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. We're playing it. I mean, the UK is the best. Like when it comes to having a music culture and there still being like this kind of music existing. We don't really play Germany anymore, which is a great music country, but like the UK for us is every time we go there, it's just exponential. And a lot of British people come and see us when we're playing more continental Europe shows. It's very often nowadays, and I meet like a couple usually in their mid to late 40s who are just like, yeah, hadn't heard of you until 6 months ago, and I haven't actually felt this excited about music since I was a teenager and like the Dogs d'Amour was kicking around, and it's really cool. The UK
Yeah.
just rules. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I mean, the Dogs D'Amour for me was one of my favorite bands. I mean, I guess a little bit older than that age. So I got to see all the originals play, but
Oh wow.
I mean, my first memories of music were like I used to have a flat garage roof outside my bedroom window, and I'd climb out onto the garage roof, get on a train or a bus, and I was at the age where I was 13 or 14 when I first saw the Hanoi Rocks, and that
Oh shit.
that to me was where it all started. Like, my parents still don't know to this day that I used to like every Friday or Saturday night used to escape the house, go to the big city down the road, and see stuff like that. And that was magical. That's where it all started to me. And then the Dogs d'Amour was like a almost three times a year they seem to be touring the UK, and you'd sort of like
Yeah.
travel to three or four gigs and. Those times were wonderful. Quireboys were great too. They actually made it over to Melbourne and Sydney. Oh, it's just before COVID, I think. So for the first time,
Yeah.
and this time with Spike. So, but that to me is my music. That's and I guess that's coming up. Listening to my dad's old Faces albums and stuff like that back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, it's a similar thing for me. It was my old man's actually a Pom like yourself. He was from Kent,
Oh yeah,
and he came to Australia in '75, and he got a Beatles cut, I think, in '65, and he still has it today. He just got hospitalized by a currawong.
oh
A
wow.
fucking bird fucked his ass up the other day.
Mhm.
It's like talking black eyes, broken ribs from a bloody little bird. But yeah, he came with what he brought over with him from England, like the Beatles and Creedence, not British bands, but the stuff that he grew up listening to, um, Creedence, the Beatles, and Jefferson Airplane, Janis Joplin, and it was through that like obviously my father worked at a radio station, I think, briefly, and he stole a bunch of cassette tapes in Australia, I guess, and he had Nevermind the Bollocks. And
Mm.
as a 5-year-old, that really that ruined everything for me. That was I never heard music so fun,
Yeah,
and so I kind of just expanded on what my father liked.
yeah. It's yeah, I mean they were over. I mean the strange thing is you mentioned them, they were over in Australia last week, as the Sex Pistols with
Yeah,
Frank
Glenn
Carter.
Matlock.
Yeah, fronting them. Frank Carter was sensational. He'd like a really great fit for the band. Like
That's so cool. It's good that they're actually doing something because it's always just been this like, come on, guys, just put something together. Like we understand that Sid's not involved. That's probably for the best. But just something.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
good. So let's talk about your heroes. Who were your heroes like growing up? You told us the backstory and how you got out of Australia for the I don't know what would you say, cold winter nights of Scandinavia.
actually, right now, the Aurora Borealis is roaring above our heads. One of the biggest solar storms I've ever seen since living in Scandinavia. Right now, happening upstairs, but 100% cloud cover, so you can't see anything. So it's
Yeah,
close
sadly
to
that's
dull.
what it was like here. We got the Aurora Australis, like it was really, really good
Yeah,
last year. But
yeah,
yeah, most of the time in Perth, too many lights, too cloudy. Couldn't see a lot.
yeah.
But once you got down
Right
south,
now, it is roaring above us, but
yeah,
sadly, it's just too cloudy to see anything.
we'll have to see it.
Like,
Name the big bands for me. You've already named a few. Who else were you influenced by to sort of like make that move and start that band?
I mean, by pure luck and chance, I was exposed to bands like the New York Dolls when I was very young, um, by just coincidence. Because at the local skate park where I grew up, kids would park their cars, open the back, and just play the music. And for whatever reason, the New York Dolls were there. So I never even really thought of what they were. I just used to hear them and thought it was the coolest sound ever. But it wasn't until I saw what they looked like that I was like, this is awesome. And then getting into like the kind of, I guess you would say, 77 punk and the pre-set, like the Hollywood Brats has always been one of my
Yeah,
favorites,
great band.
which is just a very surreal thing that, I mean, the Hollywood Brats, I assumed that were probably dead before I was born. But I'm actually lucky enough to be mates with a few of them, and got to Casino Steel joined us on stage last time we were in Oslo. I got to sing with him, and I was invited to Brady's 74th birthday, and I'm sure he's going to come see us in London, which is very, very fun. And I managed to smuggle a bottle of whiskey, a really difficult. I had to buy this whiskey from bourbon from America. Took months to get it over here to Sweden. Then I had to smuggle it to London. Then I had to smuggle it because it's the whiskey they used to drink back in the early 70s. And
Yeah.
it's you can't really find it anymore. But I got Andrew Matheson to sign it. We went for a drink afterwards, and his signature rubbed off in my bag. So now I still have this empty bottle of old Grandad whiskey with just a black smudge on it from Andrew Matheson.
Oh,
And,
it sounds like my Aerosmith bowling pin that had to make it
oh
back to
no,
the States. Steven Tyler's still legible, but a lot of the others just fell off. Yeah,
no,
New York Dolls was a huge band for me, I must admit. It was one of the first three albums I bought with my own money, the first album, and many years later in Perth, Western Australia, they came and played. And I got to
yeah,
spend the afternoon with Sylvain and David, and it was everything that a music fan would want it to be. They say never meet your heroes, but I just
yeah.
completely don't believe that. They were wonderful
Was
guys.
that about 2010?
Yeah, it would have been like the
Yeah,
second year of the website. So yeah, 2010. Yeah.
yeah. I remember that because I was ready to commit seppuku because when I decided on a Wednesday that I was leaving my life forever to the other side of the planet with no plan on a Friday, I found out that the New York Dolls was playing at I think Cherry Bar in Melbourne. So I'd already booked my tickets, and again another band I thought I'd never get to see,
Yeah,
and they were coming to me, but I was leaving, and I was just like fuck, and they'd already done Sweden I think like a week
yeah,
earlier, so I missed out completely on that.
yeah.
It was devastating,
And Earl Slick was playing.
devastating.
Earl Slick was playing guitar as well.
Who? Who's
Earl,
that?
Earl Slick, who played with David Bowie. He
I
was
don't even know who that is. No.
yeah, he was a guitarist on that tour. He played on Little Caesar's second album.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
A good one from Melbourne is Roland S. Howard. He
yeah,
was a great player.
yeah,
He was cool. Oh, Nick Cave and the birthday party and all that. Um, I went back 2 Novembers ago to Australia, and I saw that they've named like a laneway after Roland S. Howard, and that
yeah,
was quite a nice. And he
yeah,
used to play with like Nicky Sutton, Dave Cusworth, and all that. Pretty cool.
yeah. There's loads of great connections to sort of like um outside of Australian music. I guess in Melbourne's where it all sort of like
Yeah,
happens. The rock and roll capital of the world. Let's talk a bit more about the band. You've got two albums under your belts. Another one coming. Hopefully, we might even see that by the end of the year.
yeah, it's possible. It's
Yeah.
possible. Unlikely. We're slow movers,
But we'll
but
see.
hopefully it would be great. We got a bunch of songs under our belt, and hopefully a few more coming soon. But I mean, yeah, two albums. The their first ones, the physical copies have been sold out for donkey's years now,
Yeah, yeah.
and the new one, breaking news, soon to be sold out too, Stockholmiana,
The new one.
which is yeah, the Stockholmiana is going to be sold out soon as well. Hopefully, there's a repressing, but I doubt it. But I mean, if you ever want it, now's the time because
Has the time.
I saw.
Yellow vinyl version's hard to find. I think I got it from Bengens or somewhere like that. That
Oh yeah, that's here in Stockholm. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I saw the numbers recently, and I went, "Oh shit, mission accomplished." But yeah, we got to. I think we bought up personally. We bought up like the last huge chunk of them. So
Yeah.
I
It's
think it's time. If you want one, it's time to buy one, people.
such a great album, and hopefully you'll be taking some merch out on tour. I've already had a few people asking me what you're going to be bringing over, so hopefully it's going to be a bit of vinyl, t-shirts, that sort of thing. You
Yeah,
get from the bags.
yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean, the UK is just such a good country to. We actually sell shit there. It's always
Yeah,
great. I mean, we've done these festivals with those bands like Crash Diet and all that, and some of these festivals, it's us that walks away with the most sales, which is just a crazy thing that you would never guess. But that's just the way it works. I'm not sure why, but we always do really well in Great Britain. So.
yeah, fantastic. Well, I'll be putting an order for the third record to go with the other two. Do you do signed stuff and things like that? Someone's asking, like, are you going to
Yeah,
be signed copies of the new record when it comes out?
probably not because it's not in our control. It's through the record
Yeah,
label. So the first album we had an option because we self-released that, and we had an option to get it signed, and basically 90% of people got it signed, which slows down their order because
yeah,
we all have to be physically in the same place to sign it. And also, what it means is basically if you have an unsigned copy of it, it's probably more valuable than a signed copy at this point. Second album, there's only that I know of. There's only one copy in the entire world that has all members signed on it, and I have it.
no,
Strategically, I have it. So, but because we changed members, so I have the only original members signed copy. But because when it's with the label, like we get people get pretty cunty about it. You know, they're like, "Oh, why can't I order a signed copy?" It's because it's like it doesn't come from us.
yeah,
Like it comes
yeah,
from the label. Like, we're not involved at all. We don't even own it. It's their property. It's not ours.
yeah.
So like the logistics of getting a signed copy, it's like come see us at the show. We'll sign everything. Like, we'll
Yeah.
sign it all. But
I know what that's like. I've ordered copies of vinyl from pretty obscure bands over the years, and I can't remember which one it was, but I'll let you know. One of the bands, the members didn't tour that year, So it actually took about 12 months to get get a signed copy over.
Bloody hell.
By the
Yeah.
time I got the new album signed, I got the album signed, the new one was 2 weeks off release. It was it was crazy. So
Bloody hell. Yeah.
we've got a couple of questions we ask everyone. So later in the year, I've actually got a couple of books coming out. We've been going for 15 years, and every single time I've interviewed everyone. So you are the 1,697th person I've spoken to over the last 16 years.
Fucking hell.
Can still get you in the book. We've asked everyone these two questions. So if you name someone who's playing hard rock these days, the chances are we've spoken to them at some point. So
That
there's
is wild.
members of Kiss in there, members of Aerosmith in there, members of Hanoi Rocks, everyone. So
Wow.
last person I asked was the guys out of Continental Lovers. So
Ah, Joe
that's,
Maddox, Kerry and the fellas.
yes, that's what from my hometown. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I
those
love them
questions
boys.
are first one. Um, if you could have been a fly on the wall for the creation of any album in the history of rock and roll, just to see how that magic happened in the studio, and we all know it's boring in the studio, really. What would you love to have seen being made?
Would have been the Hollywood Brats, um, basically first and kind of almost only album. Um, David Bowie was next door recording Rebel Rebel. The Eagles were doing uh, uh, Hotel California in Olympic Studios at the same time. And yeah, that album should have never happened in Olympic Studios next to David Bowie and the Eagles. And that just sounds like such a clusterfuck, the production of that record. I would love to see that. Yeah.
Oh wow, what a cool album as well. It's definitely one in my collection. And the last question we always ask an easy one: what is the meaning of life?
Just to enjoy it. Enough said.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. It's as
I
simple
reckon.
as that. So you're not going down the David Coverdale line of wine, women, and song, which is what he said.
I drink a lot of wine.
I hope,
Especially, I mean, it's quite late here, by the way.
yeah, hopefully a good Australian wine.
No, a shit Spanish one.
It's,
It's a shit Spanish one.
yeah,
It's no, life's just there. It's just there to bloody enjoy. You have to work. You have to work hard. You have to do a lot of things you don't want to do. But it's the pockets of joy between the mountains of shit that make life worthwhile. It's having
well,
fun, having a good old time.
I think you're right. I mean, it's interesting looking back on like doing the. I mean, the reason I started the website in the first place is because I just wanted to talk to people who made the music that I loved. So. And I've really got the
That's
opportunity
so
to do
cool.
that over the years. But like 16 years on, it gets to the stage where you get invited to a lot of stuff because people know who you are and you've written
Yeah,
stuff. So on a Thursday night, you go out and you see Winger in Australia of all the bands that could
yeah,
possibly be in Australia, and you catch up with those guys. Always wanted to meet Red Beach, one of my favorite guitarists of I guess that late 80s era.
yeah.
That
Fucking
was
hell, mate.
that was something, I tell you. Look at
It
crazy
really
how
is like perks of the job, isn't it?
yeah.
Perks of the job. It's like I never would have imagined. I mean, we're a tiny band, but I never would have imagined the things that we've got to do, like
Mm,
being kind of friendly with people that I grew up with, posters on my walls, and
mm,
I mean, one of my favorite bands, The Boys. Like the fact that they're going to come see us on this UK tour, like
yeah.
um, that is just insane to me. Like Matt Dangerfield, the singer of The Boys, is going to potentially come see us on this UK tour along with manager Steve Metcalf, who is just the manager's manager, one of England's finest. Like it's just surreal. It just makes no sense, and it makes everything worthwhile to meet these awesome people from all over the world and have fun. Basically, play rock and roll together, get drunk, and it's a very cool thing to be a part of. And I feel like maybe we're on the tail end of it, but It feels like we're a tiny little part, a little cog in a big wheel.
Yeah.
You want to
It's,
wax philosophic about
oh,
it.
it is so cool. I didn't think as a kid, like, getting out of that window to go and see a band like the Hanoi Rocks, as a 13-year-old. I didn't think I'd be, oh, didn't think I'd be, yeah, I see what you mean now by, shit, Spanish wine. Yes. It's,
Well, you can take the boy out of Australia, but you can't take Australia out of the boy.
exactly.
Good will stick around for quite a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, mate. It's like those, and I try to enjoy them. As I'm
Yeah.
sure you do too. Like when you get those moments and you go, "Fucking hell!" Like How is this a real life thing? And I think a lot of people can take it for granted very quickly that they get to do cool stuff with cool people,
Yeah.
and they feel like because they worked hard, they earned it. I've never, and Trench Dogs in general, like we never had that opinion. Like we are probably the most starstruck band in Sweden. We're constantly just like, holy shit, this is insane.
It's like it's funny because I apart from seeing him on stage, I'd never actually met Michael Monroe. But to interview him was so cool. And the only
Yeah,
member of the band, as far as I'm aware, though, that's been to Australia is, Andy McCoy. He came over here about 5 or 6 years ago with Bam Margera or whatever that guy's called from. And
yeah. I didn't know that actually happened.
yeah, they
Huh.
did like this weird thing. Andy was playing guitar. They obviously didn't play any Hanoi songs, but they played a cool
Yeah,
version of, Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones. And
that sounds like Andy.
at the end, Andy came out and he just leant against this wall. No one in the crowd knew who the hell he was, and he was stood next to this massive guy who was like his bouncer. And I just said to the
Mm.
people, I said, "Can I go over and talk to him?" And he goes, "Well, see what he does when you approach." And I thought, wow, this is
Yeah,
really
enter at your own risk, mate. It's Andy McCoy. Enter at your own risk.
yeah. And the sad thing about it was I went over and talked to him and, told him how much I loved Hunter back in the day, how much I loved his other stuff, and, he was that pissed I couldn't understand what he said.
Yeah, that sounds like Andy. He's a national treasure to both Finland and to Sweden. We love him.
Yeah.
When I first met him, I was quite young. I was probably in my early 20s, so over like 10 years ago.
Mm.
And I was on a train and I saw on a station platform he was with some people I know. So I quickly was like, oh shit. And then I got a text message saying, I saw you on the train. Get off. There's someone you should meet. So I was like, holy shit, Sandy McCoy. So I walked all the way down the train platform, a really long train platform, Södra Stockholm, here in Stockholm. And Andy was there. And of course, he put his hand out like a gracious gentleman he is. And he said, my name is Andy. And I said, oh, my name's also Andy. And he grabbed my hand and he pulled me closer into his face and he said, yeah, but I'm Andy McCoy, motherfucker. And I was like, yes, yes, you are.
That's perfect.
And
I wish that had happened to me, but, sadly it didn't. Oh,
I've many a funny Andy McCoy stories. He's such a character. He's a rock and roll treasure.
we're definitely
But
gonna yeah, we're definitely gonna have to catch up again when the new album comes out. But,
with Rock Pit, with pleasure.
yeah.
Absolutely. You are listening to the Rock Pit. This is Andy Hekkandi from Trench Dogs from Sweden. Don't let my outrageous accent fool you. I am, in fact, an Aussie. We are on tour in the UK with Continental Lovers and the Suicide Bombers, but don't listen to them. Listen to us because we have a new single coming out. It is called Cobblestone Waltz, and here it is now.
Thank you so much, mate. And on that, I shall bid
There
you
might have been some mush-mouthed, slightly drunk bollocks there, but
no worries, mate. Take care. Good to talk to you, and I'll catch up
thanks,
with
Mark.
you soon. Thanks, mate. Bye.
Cheers, Mark. Next time I'm in Australia, look you up. Cheers, bud.